Nerd Skool is a member of the Queen City Podcast Network, powered by Ortho Carolina. Now offering video visits so you can take control of your orthopedic care from the comfort of your home. Schedule online at orthocarolina.com. Ortho Carolina, you improve.
Hey, fellows. It's the first snap of another season.
Nerds roll. Nerds roll.
Oh, my glasses are broken.
Surprise me. My pocket is protected.
Surprise me.
I'm a super nerd.
Surprise me.
Okay. Excelsior.
I am a super nerd.
The Nerd Skool Podcast.
Starring Andy.
I am a former entertainment journalist.
The Star Spangled Band with a plan.
TBJ.
Welcome, congratulations. You did dirt. Ta-da! I got no shame. I am what I like to call a surprise nerd.
Artstar.
am not an incel.
Artstar. He's the nerd Gotham City deserves.
And yours truly, call me Joe.
Joe verse. Joe though. I figure if he had like the Joe verse, he'd be like Joe knows. You know, an amalgamation of Joe and Thanos. Joe knows.
Something's wrong with you.
Hey, I have a lot of time on my hands sometimes.
We should admit the problem.
Hey.
All this free
I want to
time
get
is
this
time
out
where
there
we don't
right
know
now.
what Art does in his
I want
free time.
to get this out there right now. You know, most people would take a look at me and be like, well, one, they would think I'm like super quiet or something. They wouldn't expect, either I'm like really mean, but you know, I could sometimes be considered borderline crazy. But here's
You
the thing.
don't say. You don't say.
I accept my crazy.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Let your free
And
flag
I'm all
fly.
well, I mean, and I've always felt like crazy people, like real crazy people don't know that they're crazy. You know, to them they're having the most sanest
I feel like
conversations.
some villains
Like
who are on the spectrum of insanity know they're insane.
well, hey, I was just watching this episode one, like it kind of made, I don't want to say it made me rethink things, but it also lets me see how I, totally identify with someone like Magneto, but then how I also can relate and also feel passionate about being a Sith, you know?
We know.
Where, let me save this one. But it just, it is what it is.
You
It
are
is what
who
it
you
is.
are, Artstar.
Yep.
So were you set up?
And
good?
He
I
just
can
really
hear you
likes
guys.
withered
She's just
old
listening.
men. That's why he loves being a Sith. I can hear you now, Joe.
I love that take, Andy. You just
So
infatuated
is that like,
with withered old man.
is that like, do
You just want to do everything they
do
say.
you guys know
you
what
just
a-
want to be
So
their
does that mean Artstar has
command boy.
daddy issues? Is this what we're saying?
That could be.
does that mean, no, wow. Actually, I don't. But then I was going to be mildly inappropriate
Oh,
and be like, do you guys know what a lemon party
I
is?
do.
Yes.
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 I do.
we're not going to be inappropriate.
I know what a lemon party is.
I love lemon
We're
party.
not going to be inappropriate.
Oh, shit.
I love lemon party.
Oh, shit.
All right. On that note, let's jump into Falcon and Winter Soldier.
All right. Are we all?
Oh, as a
Episode
disclaimer,
4.
we do not condone and or participate
Hey,
in lemon
speak for
parties.
We don't
yourself.
know what you do, Art. That's the thing.
Speak for yourself, Artstar.
We don't know what you do in your free time.
We don't know about art. We don't know about art.
All right.
Ah,
Off the inappropriateness and on to episode 4.
Episode
Anthony
4,
Mackie's.
Falcon
Of
and
what?
Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Yep.
It's a heck of a gut punch, this one is,
Yeah.
Yes.
among other punches.
was it though? But was it though?
I mean, I knew
Like,
something
did
like that
we
was
not
coming.
already know that this dude was a douchebag?
Yeah, but there's a
No,
difference
I
between
think-
douchebag and outright killer.
Insane, right? Yeah. Like,
Or,
no control.
jacked up, roid rage kind of a thing.
But I like, I mean, I'm talking when we get there, but when Bucky's like, I know crazy because I am crazy, and that dude's crazy.
Yeah.
And this is before the serum.
Yeah.
It's like thumbs off, and I know crazy.
Well, I really like that. Can you guys hear me? I really like that
Yeah.
John Walker. They really
me.
set it up where John Walker. It was clear. John Walker was almost surprised what he did too, and he's realizing the serum amplifies you, and I feel like he realized he's a bad person at that moment. At the end, he was like, "Oh, this amplified
Possibly,
me."
but he's still got a little bit of a. I'm trying to read his face in that moment. I'm not sure if he's shoving the shield back on. He looks a little more self-satisfied. Yeah. But I think.
But think about it. Go ahead, Andy. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. All right. Just for synopsis, we're talking about the very end. We're jumping right to the end here.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
We went to the meat.
It's hard not to when it ends like that good. Like it's hard not to jump right to the end. I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to say it's a build-up, though. They did a really good job of this episode of building to where he got there, right? We did a really good job of him trying to seize control of the situation. They did a really good job of him, trying to take over. They did a really good job of him getting beat up by the warriors from Wakanda and him being like, they didn't even have a serum and they beat me up. They did a really good job of building his disappointments so that we could see how he got to the point and him having the conversation with his friend. Would you do it? What do you think? Is it I think this episode did a really good job of getting us to see that he may have not been all there because his ego is too big. Honest to goodness, his ego is getting the best of him in all of these situations where he has to have control. Yeah. Sir, calm down. Let other people be in control. Sam was doing something really good, and you interrupted the hell out of it.
Yes, and TBJ
because he's too eager.
Oh, I was just saying, I'm so glad you mentioned that bit about they don't even have the serum. Can we just say how badass that moment was with those ladies kicking the shit out of these guys, everybody? Oh, so great.
But he was warned. They were like, you don't want to mess with them. They were like, don't do it.
And he put his hands on him. It's just that, oh hey, the friendly shoulder tap. Yeah. That's when it's like, no, yeah, you don't touch us.
Also, your jurisdiction, because you're carrying the shield, sir, you're an American symbol, right? You were put out here for America. You're in a foreign country. These are foreign fighters. They don't give a damn about you. Take it back to a few episodes ago when they busted into that warehouse and the dude was like, I know who you are, and I don't care. Nobody cares, sir. Nobody cares but you and whoever gave you the damn shield.
Yeah, it's a build-up of disrespect over 4 episodes. He was handed this. Everyone knows he's been handed this. No one knows what he's done to earn it. He's not even entirely sure he earned it. So he's got something to prove. He's got so much to prove, and he keeps not proving it. He keeps getting jacked. The actual Captain America, the legit Captain America friends think he's a douche and don't want him around and keep freezing him out. And so he needs to prove to them. But then he's indignant about it. His ego is like you said, his ego's going wild, so he can't stand taking their abuse for that long. But then there's the moment with let's pour one out for Lamar Hoskins, by the way.
Oh,
Right?
That sucks.
I was afraid I was hoping they wouldn't fridge him like that.
But, I just kept saying, no, we better not. That whole fight scene, I was like, he better not die. I looked at my son and said, if they kill, for me, I said, if they kill the other black man, damn it.
Yeah.
The other black man.
Or could it be, maybe it's just that 2 black people rule kind of thing. Right. It's you already got Sam, so we have to get rid of the other one.
I mean, I get
society won't accept 2 black heroes.
Creatively, he is a catalyst in John Walker losing his shit. That is his buddy. And I do think we talked about Sam dealing with some PTSD. There's clearly some PTSD up in John Walker because he talks about, you and I both know the things we had to do in Afghanistan. Were they heroic? So he has some unresolved issues from his time in service. And I honestly think I can see why he's where he is. Doesn't make it right. Artstar, let me point that out for Artstar real quick, because he will justify some demoness
Yeah, because
actions. I can
nah,
see how it built to that point. Even as he's talking to Bucky, if you remember before he breaks up Sam's conversation, he's like, must be easy for you running all over the place with that serum. Like, his envy and jealousy is just rearing its head, mixed with needing to prove himself in this mission, and just it mixed bad. It was a bad formula.
Yep, it's like all the wrong choices, all the even Lamar's even like, you consistently make the right choices in the heat of battle, and it's like, we haven't seen him do that yet.
Right? Not one time have we seen that. Lamar, where you at? Like,
yeah. It's like, what are you doing? But he's also
good choices.
Not only is he the catalyst for him to go apeshit, he's the catalyst for him to take the serum in the first place. Just saying, yeah, hell yeah, I'll do it right away.
Yeah.
Think of how many lives we would have saved in that. Like, his medals of honor are from the worst day of his life, he said, and we don't really know the details of that, but. It's it makes him.
It has to be gruesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes him a fascinating character, but it also makes him. He's tragic, but he's also an asshole.
He was already kooky.
So,
again, something was already wrong with you. Like Bucky said, I know crazy when I see it, so it's clear.
Right, and that leaves us that. Just that image, that final image of the shield bloodied. I don't think we've seen blood all over the shield at all in the MCU until now. And that's very symbolic. Like, John Walker, like, Steve Rogers is what America thinks it is, and John Walker's what it is.
Right?
Yeah. And
so
what does this do to the brand, I guess, the name of Captain America? Is this, like, can Captain America recover from this public murder? This public murder of a guy who was pleading it wasn't me, a guy who used to be a Captain America fan.
This is the guy who was like, I grew up loving Captain America. That's the tragic part. I was like, oh no, it's the Captain America fan. Like, sir, this guy is a fan of what that shield stands for, and unfortunately, you weren't even trying to get an answer out of him at that point. Like, you just were going in.
You got the answer. He asked for the answer. You didn't know, so you just went off on him. And so, that makes an interesting discussion of, like, that happened. That is now the public face of Captain America. Next episode, like, if Sam and Bucky don't immediately attack him and take that shield from him, that shield is kind of done. So even if at the end of this, at the beginning, we're all like, oh, Sam's got to pick up the shield and become Captain America. Maybe not. Maybe Captain America is done. And I mean,
you pick up a tarnished shield. What can you
Yeah, I mean, you have to clean it off.
But we know that they're going to get. We know that they're going to have the shield, because we have yet to see the scene that they've been showing even before this series started of him and Bucky training with the shield. So we know they're going to get the shield at some point.
I mean, they might get it, but they
just
might
like
not.
How much?
There's a difference between getting the shield and becoming Captain America. If you take the shield away from that guy, it's one thing. And also, there's always the chance that their trailer's going to show us some shit that it doesn't actually show.
True that.
Not in the show.
Because Marvel does like fucking. They love, they do love fucking. It's good. So that's that.
God bless it. Can we talk about?
There's one thing. Wait a minute, but before we leave Battlestar dying, that, like, right away my thought was, there's probably some nerd thing, like he evolves into some other hero after he dies, that you guys are going to tell me. But what I do like, not that I want him to die, but what it does set up, at least I'm guessing, it sets up the only thing we like about John Walker is Battlestar. Like, we like that guy, but now he's gone. So now there's nothing left of this fucking John Walker that we like, so he can be a villain now.
This is one thing, again, like I just said, Marvel does love a good, fucking. So it's like, the MCU has evolved. It has evolved, but, and this is going into other stuff or whatever. Coulson is has been dead a few times in the MCU. You know, like Battlestar, we saw, his neck got snapped, but it's like it wasn't even like, and all of this stuff happened. Like his neck gets snapped. Walker goes off, goes crazy, hunts down whatever. We don't know what happened after. Like, his body could still be laying there. Like Power Broker could have came in and swooped up his body and done some stuff. So like he could be dead. I mean, he probably is dead. But like Marvel could also be like, we're gonna show him get his neck snapped and he's dead. This is the catalyst for John Walker to snap. Let's go to dealing with this. But then in the background, some shadowy figures come along, swoop up Battlestar, and we see him in the last scene at the end of the series. So it's like you don't know.
Back.
You like Marvel can do. I mean,
because Battlestar in the comics did get the serum himself as well. He had the same kind of thing.
Okay,
but and he's still Battlestar as far as I know. I don't think he became anybody else. Mm-hmm. But I was really hoping this would raise his profile because he's always been kind of like a sideline kind of character. I was like, all right, here's your chance to make this guy into something cool. And they did make him into something cool. He's charming, and you're kind of interested in what his deal is, other than supporting the asshole.
What about that actor?
But,
what about the actor who played Battlestar? Do you guys know him from something?
Clay, his name is Clay or Clay.
I don't know his name.
He looks familiar to me. But I saw some article. He got a job out of this. Like he's going to star in his own show soon, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he's I'm going to check real quick, but he wasn't familiar to me.
I was wondering because he
could be.
Like you said, he's got charisma. He could be like the actor could get a lot of success out of this.
Yeah, let's hope at least that's the case.
Man, I had another question.
I was kind of hoping.
I had a question about something Art said, but now I can see. Oh, when you mentioned the Power Broker, do we still think it could possibly be Sharon?
I just know it's someone we know in my gut. Okay.
That's a big theory, is because her whole deal is mysterious right now. I think turning her into a straight villain would be surprising, at least to me, just because she's so not in the comics.
But
although now that I think about it, at the end of the Civil War story in the comics, she had somehow been mind controlled, I think, by the Red Skull or somebody, and she actually assassinated Captain America.
What?
Steve Rogers.
Oh,
and he didn't actually
there's a whole storyline
where she Hydra had mind controlled her to do that, and then he didn't. And that's when Bucky became Captain America for a while, because Steve Rogers was thought to be dead, and it turned out he was just in some weird mindscape thing, and he eventually came back. Yeah. But that's when Bucky first picked up the mantle of Captain America. So they could do a twist on that if Sharon Rogers is the one who kills John Walker. If they kill John Walker and they don't decide to make him into a U.S. agent or whatever. So that
I just figured out where you might have saw Clay from. Clay Bennett is his name.
Clay Bennett.
He was in the last Jigsaw movie.
Jigsaw.
Yeah. And I definitely wouldn't have known him.
I mean, I don't watch. Yeah, but remember they filmed one that was called Jigsaw.
Oh, okay.
From the Saw franchise.
I see.
That, if you remember him, he did a few smaller things, but that's probably that's a bigger thing than most of the stuff.
What kind of television has he done?
There's lots of random things I have never heard of, so I can't tell you. Nothing you've seen, nothing we've seen. So.
And again, with the multiverse about to explode somehow in the Doctor Strange movies or whatever, we could get Battlestar back in a different way.
Yeah, you never know.
But there has to be enough of a groundswell, I think. I don't know. His profile is not huge in the comics.
I guess we have to see what these next 2 episodes show. Right. Oh, you were also asking about the Power Broker. Andy was saying she's still mysterious right now. That's what you're
Yeah,
saying.
and they leaned on at one point during this episode. When she's talking to Sam, Sam says something. Yeah, we need a pair of trustworthy eyes. And the fact that you use the word trustworthy makes me think they might try to undercut that. And it turns out Sharon is playing everybody, or she's just trying to get close to the power broker to figure out who they actually are, and it's going to be a big reveal. But everyone wanted a big reveal at the end of WandaVision, and Agatha
there was none.
Was kind of telegraphed. There wasn't another big reveal, so we'll see.
Yeah.
How they? I mean,
well,
Sharon's
we're supposed to have some big.
Well, you also still have Zemo. Where Zemo went.
Yeah, that's true too.
Also, that's also part of the next couple episodes. Like, what is she up to? Because it's not small. And where the hell did Zemo go?
He pulled an El Chapo. He crawled through into the sewer, right?
He loved the opportunity. He was like, everybody's fighting. Great.
Yeah, I kind of like the Dora Milaje kicking the shit out of John Walker, and like Bucky and Sam were like, looking strong, doing a good job, John. And Zemo was just drinking a glass, watching that happen. But yeah, this was a powerful episode, I thought, and there was a lot to Carly. We got a lot more out of Carly there.
Yes.
And how Sam kind of tricked her into kind of realizing what she's acting like. With like a little verbal trickery, getting her to something. There were roadblocks, and I'd kill them again if I had to. And he's like, wow.
So, yeah.
Like, no, you tricked me.
He was doing a good job. John didn't barge in.
And there's also a good point here to think about. Does wanting to be a super soldier inherently make you a supremacist, like Zemo says?
Right.
Like, can you separate those two things? And they sort of make Steve Rogers an exception because he wasn't really seeking it out. He didn't really understand what was happening to him. He was just trying to serve. So, and it kind of came to him. But,
and that's Zemo says it. He says, the serum brings out not good things in people, and everybody's like, well, it didn't do it for Steve, and he was like, has there ever been another Steve though? Like, he is the only one that didn't bring out something ill-willed in them.
Yeah, I mean, think about Bruce Banner was trying to replicate that thing, and it brought out the Hulk.
Right. So,
and I guess Emil Blonsky, the Abomination, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting thought. Like, wanting to have superpowers, does that make you just need to feel more powerful than everybody else?
And is it like testosterone where it just gets in your head and you just get little bits of rage that you didn't see coming before you took large doses, let me just say. Not all testosterone turns you crazy, but people who are normally raging are taking large quantities. But I will say I love the Carly scene because it gave us a chance to, again, see her all the way, what she was willing to do, how she was willing to handle it. But it also gave us another badass side of her when she called Sam's sister. I was like, girl, I be trying to root for you, but then you be doing some stuff that's straight villainous. Like, last episode, you just killed a bunch of people, and I was like, damn, Carly, I could see where you were coming from, but here you go. This episode, I was like, maybe he's getting her to see, like, oh, no, threaten the whole family. Oh, okay, Carly. God dang it.
And then she backtracked, saying, I would never hurt them. I just needed to know I could trust you.
But is that,
do you
believe that, though? Like, I don't know if I believe that. Like, she would hurt them if she had to.
Let the Sith Lord play devil's advocate for a moment here. If you watch any type of procedural drama dealing with like law and order, a lot of times when cops are interrogating suspects, they do things slightly underhanded to try to get a confession. So I'm not condoning, what Carly's done, but Carly knew that was probably, a sore or soft spot for Sam. So she exploited one of his weaknesses to get what she wanted. Like you say, she did. She wasn't gonna.
To me.
Yeah, but she wasn't gonna. Like you said, she wasn't gonna hurt his family. Like, I believe she wouldn't hurt it. Like, I don't know. Like now she probably would, because she kind of feel like Sam double crossed her. But before, she wouldn't have just been like, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna kill his nephews. Like now, if it happened to come across, his nephews, she probably be like, I'm gonna kill him because in her mind, Sam set her up.
And he did.
Like, whereas before, it was
He
just an
did kinda
ends to a
set her up.
means.
No, he didn't. He did not set
I
her
don't know.
up. He very clearly told them from the jump that she needed a conversation and they didn't need to interfere. He was very clear. He was not playing a game. He very clearly told them, I have done this. It is my job. Let me talk her down. And John Walker messed that up. He did not give a go for them to come in. He did not betray her in any way. He literally.
I thought about that though. I thought about that. No, yeah. He didn't want John Walker to come in when he did, but he wanted somebody to come in at some point. So at some point he was gonna.
He didn't. He just said she needed. He said, "I know soldiers and I know PTSD, and this is what I do." He did not ask them to come in. They insisted on being there. I'm gonna fight this battle. Sam did not. Sam is probably one of the most honest people in this joint.
But here's the thing.
Double crosser. Because Sam doesn't even like John Walker. He went to save his ass.
He was there.
That's an honorable man.
I'll say he didn't. He didn't double cross her. But it's one of those things where it's like, if he's still in her eyes, if he's still trying to look at, be like the good guy to her and in her eyes, it's like, why still fight with the man who fucked up his little sexual, you know what I'm saying? Like, they came in, guns a-blazing or whatever, and instead of Sam, she's like, oh, whoa, you know what I'm saying? He partook in the battle against her.
No,
so she still is going to see Sam.
When they came in that room originally, he did whoa when John Walker came in. That second battle, when they set up Captain America, they called Sam and Bucky to one place, and they went after Captain somewhere else. That was her ruse, and he went to help in that battle just because he is inherently a good guy, and though he may not like John Walker, he's still an American soldier.
I think he's a good guy.
And they're both soldiers.
I think he's a great guy. He's the hero. He's everything. But coming from her perspective, he still was planning on lying. He was trying to get those serums from her. He was going to get those serums from her. And he did not tell her that those guys were outside. Like, he came alone. I think coming alone, he's telling her there's nobody else here. They were in the other room. So he was lying.
Yeah, I don't think she's naive to know. No, let's be real. I don't think there is any way Carly thought that he was wholeheartedly by himself. I think they had space and time. I think him getting the serum is part of his mission, so I don't think it was inherently a betrayal. He was on a mission, and he didn't promise her anything. He told her to give him the serums. He told her what she was doing was wrong. I think the way he did it, for her, she might have initially felt betrayal, but I think after the call with his sister was like, listen, I'm telling you now, he ain't working for that fool. I think she inherently knew that from her conversation with him. I think she may have had a moment of, oh, hell no. But I think she quickly learned that he was not out to get her.
And
he was out to get something from her.
Yeah, I think she's made it clear that even if he had 100% been there alone and not done anything, she was going to still do something to him. Like, she's out for her mission. It doesn't matter who gets hurt. So
she was going to do something with the serum regardless. But can we talk about the fact that Zemo is so anti-serum that sucker was like crush, 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 crush.
And that was a big moment for Zemo to see if he was a hypocrite because he didn't have the power, or if he was legitimately. I mean, I guess after Civil War, we shouldn't really question his conviction when he gets set on something, but.
Right.
Yeah, cause, he was gonna do that thing in Civil War and then kill himself because he was done. But T'Challa was like, "The living are not through with you yet." I'm like,
so awesome. What do you guys think in general? Like, was this great?
Yeah,
it's sure as hell compelling drama. I gotta say,
it is right.
It was shot very well. It leaves you with more questions than answers.
And I'm trying to figure out.
That's a good drama.
Exactly what Carly's end game is here. Like, what?
I don't know. Did you see her face though at the end? Because she looked shook.
Yeah, those are like her best friend.
Yeah.
Just got so it's like she's got the serum too, and whatever she's feeling is going to be amplified.
I felt
Yeah.
I felt
just
like at the end, her look, and this is how good of an actress she is. Like her look said so much. Like you said, like it was all to me. She was saying, "Holy crap!" The things I've been saying about Captain America and the heroes and the establishment is more true than I even thought. Like, I feel like she probably believed, because anybody who's like a big fighter on that, like an activist, an organizer, like they're always talking about the establishment of being, evil and awful and But I think at some point they think some of it's inflated. But at this moment, she's like, it's worse than I even thought. Like, it's even worse than I've said it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's actually...
I think it's that, and that there is now someone else. Again, there's this disdain for them already. And now, because they didn't know he took it until they went in that final battle, and that was an oh crap moment. He has something changed, meaning he has the serum too. Because no one knew he had it until that battle. Remember, Sam goes, "What did you do?"
Yeah, because you could see it was clearly he took it because...
Right. He was bending metal and throwing.
He bent that metal,
like ragdolls.
But did she see that though?
That kick.
Yeah, they were in there.
She saw it too,
that's when they all noticed, like, oh crap, something is not what we.
And then it's like it's so tragic because that was the last vial. Like as far as we know, there is no more. I mean, I'm sure somebody can make some more, but
yeah, I mean, everyone's always trying to replicate that and has been since. Steve
you know
Rogers,
what's funny is I feel the same way about that. That super serum. To me, is the same way I feel about hot honey. Mike's Hot Honey from Amazon. You can get it on Amazon.com. Mike's Hot Honey. When I'm out of it, it's like the last vial of super serum. We're gonna.
Did we get paid for that?
So do you try to? We'll try to replicate it?
Actually, I got some local honey from Cloister. It's helped me with my allergies, and I just ordered a bunch more local hot honey that you can get from Cloister. It's sold in Charlotte. Those of us in Charlotte, you can get it online, and it really helps your allergies. And I'm going to send this to them, and they're going to give us money, hopefully.
Joe's like, I already repped you in a podcast, guys.
Right.
No, I did seriously though. As goofy as that is, I found myself like thinking of. I think of this hot honey when I'm out of it. I can't. I'm going crazy on this hot honey. That last
serum?
vial is like the same way I feel about it.
I've gotten that way recently about nasal spray. Like, as I get, like, when I was younger, I never had problems with, like, sinuses and things like that. But the older I get, it's like I've noticed that I've been having, like, these issues. And, like, now it's like sometimes, when, like right now, I'm almost out of nasal spray. I'm like, oh, man, I have to get more nasal spray. Like,
that's your super serum.
Right. Like, what's going to happen?
Well, hopefully you guys aren't out murdering people as a result.
No.
Serum, nasal spray, or hot honey.
I want to say this. I believe murder is bad. Okay. Murder.
All right, let's make that our official tagline. The Nerd School
I will
podcast.
also.
Murder is
this
bad.
is not. This is not going to be a popular opinion, but I'm going to agree with Art on this one.
Yeah, we're going to go on a ledge here.
He's not done. So, Joe, I wouldn't agree with him so easily. Let him finish. There's a but.
He's not.
No, there's no but. There's no but. It was it. That was it. I believe murder is bad.
Okay.
I believe murder is bad. See, y'all was expecting something prophetic, something like out there. Like, no, I can be soft and subtle sometimes.
I expected you to go, murder is bad, but in XYZ circumstances. That's what I expected from you.
I expected more too, to tell you the truth.
See?
Well, maybe I don't see certain murder as murder, but as a color. So
we knew it wasn't that easy.
You pushed me. I had to give you something. If I just left it at that, you would have been disappointed. And I don't want you disappointed at me and not showing my stiffness.
So it's okay.
Right, but
you do it in one episode. It's okay.
All right, quick question I wanted to get in about Falcon Winter Soldier. I keep forgetting. Andy, Who did you say? Well, I mean, anybody can answer this, but I know, Andy, you said somebody else became Falcon when Falcon...
Torres.
Oh, Torres. That's
Yeah,
right.
Joaquin
That's
Torres,
right.
the guy who was. We haven't seen him in a couple episodes, although I think last
No.
episode he was at least on the
talked to
phone.
him.
We talked to him on the
Yeah,
phone.
he talked to him.
But we saw him in
But do
episode
you-
1 and I think maybe 2.
But you guys don't think Falcon... I mean, Anthony Mackie, Falcon, can't become Cap without the serum, right? Or can he?
No. He can totally be like Captain America is not the
can,
serum.
yeah.
Captain America is the uniform, the
John
shield,
Walker
the
didn't
identity.
have to see him. Yeah. And he's already been able to prove his hero status without having a serum. That's the trick.
But he's got that. He's got all that tech. You know, he's got all that tech.
So many heroes have tech. You act like it's a bad thing. My number one
Look at
favorite
Tony.
hero
Well, just
has
Tony is
no
nothing but
superstar.
tech.
No, what I'm
He
just saying
just
is,
a guy with great
but
technology.
he wouldn't have that tech if he's Cap, right? He wouldn't have all the.
Why not? He can totally.
He can
why can't
adapt
Captain
it.
America have a
He's
flight
Cap.
rig? He's
Yeah.
not going to be Steve Rogers. You don't have
He
to
can
wear
do
that
what he
exact
wants
uniform
to do.
and,
Yeah.
and do the thing. You got the shield and you
So
take the name.
he would still have the wings, you think, as Cap? When
He did in the
becomes Cap?
comics.
If he.
He still
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so he became Captain America, but still had the cool wings and all that, and
Because
the
he's
red
still
bird and all that.
himself.
Yeah.
Joe, you act like he traded personalities. He's still himself.
Well,
Even
Yeah,
Adam.
he's just
well,
taking
what's the
on
point?
the
Even a
shield
book.
Oh,
and
so the
meaning of
only-
Captain America.
Oh, so I was confused then. So I guess the only thing. So I was like, why make him? Why not just keep being like? What makes him Cap? So the shield, he gets the shield. That's what makes him.
He gets the
Cap,
shield. He
or-
had a more red, white, and bluey uniform.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but he kind of stepped up. Excuse me. And the only reason he stepped up to it is because he needed to make Captain America mean something to everybody. And
Yeah.
Oh, that's in the comics.
yeah.
Right.
And the whole like Steve Rogers was always kind of tried to be above the general political rancor and all
The
this stuff, trying to
politics,
be
yeah, right.
ideal.
Yeah.
But you said Falcon doesn't do that, right? Like
Falcon was like, no,
state-
we need to be more.
He can't
mindful.
afford to.
We need
He's
to take
a black
sides.
man. He
Captain
can't.
Yeah.
America needs to
Yeah,
take
you
sides.
can't.
Yeah,
you can't
right,
fly
so-
above the fray as a black man in America.
Yeah, you cannot.
he
Yeah,
couldn't
you
take
can't.
on the
And then
show
if
and be
you-
like, that's not an issue, guys.
Well,
Like,
and if
he
you
doesn't
do,
have-
I
he
imagine
doesn't have
you
the
take-
privilege to do so. It's a little.
Well,
term called
that's what I'm
white
saying. I
privilege.
imagine if he tried, he would take a lot of shit from people
And
too.
he did.
I don't even
I
think.
believe he
I
took
think
a lot of
his
shit.
core. Yeah, his
So-
core person would not allow him to.
So all these bits make me believe they're definitely building to that then because they're really establishing, like Tiff said, they're definitely establishing this whole thing as him talking about having to live as a black man and a hero in a black man's world and all the racism he's facing. They're little by little building that. So and then like Art said, we saw previews or whatever of him doing stuff with the shield. I feel like it's a definite build for that if that's what they did in the comics.
I'm not gonna say it's 100% a build because again, we don't.
It could
know.
be anything. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
listen,
it's also especially after this episode, what does that title even mean anymore?
Yep.
Yeah.
Was Captain America a man and that man is gone, or is Captain America an identity or a mantle that can be passed on, and other people can live up to this? Because obviously John Walker can't live up to what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Abraham Erskine said, you have to be a good man. And
That sounded more like Dracula,
Dracula
the other guy.
or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Be a good man.
you sound like my bird. My bird. You
Oh,
sound like
Mickey
that.
Rourke.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
dog.
Lord.
So let me ask you. Oh crap.
No, Mickey Rourke is more like my bird. I want my bird. But so, I mean, this could be like we don't need another Captain America because we have Falcon and the Winter
Yeah.
Soldier. But
Ah, shit. What was my question?
Whatever
'cause I'm trying
it
to think of
ends-
how that mantle recovers from this, from
In the
what John
comics.
Walker has done to it in public in front of everybody.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love
I
how
will
everybody's
say
videotaping.
the
it.
one thing, whatever the resolution will be, we know it will center around the two characters, again, if WandaVision taught us anything, this show is about Bucky and Sam. So whatever happens at the end, I think is going to have a lot to do with Bucky and Sam. I don't know what that turns into.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hey, Art, did you realize that the title of this show has both of the names of the main characters in it?
No, I didn't. I didn't know that, Andy.
I'm just checking.
Can I just say this? Can I say this?
Good way to check
This is
in,
probably.
Andy. Did he realize that Falcon and Winter Soldier were actually Falcon
This
and
is
Winter
probably.
Soldier?
Let me say this. This is probably the hardest that Andy has shaded me.
I love
like
it.
hardest.
I love it.
Like.
I'm not a huge shade thrower, but every once in a while.
I couldn't even, like, just now, the shade is so hard. I would try to think of some crazy metaphor as to how hard he shaded me, and I can't.
Listen, I am here for it. I am currently recruiting for all fellow friends and fans to shade Artstar.
Wow. That was like, man.
I will get merch.
That was.
I think that's the thing is everybody thinks Andy's this real sweet, nice guy because they know, oh, Joe's the asshole, Andy's the nice guy. And then Andy sneaks in these conniving, like, things, like tearing you down, and you don't see it coming.
That's my kind.
It was weird because we had all this exposition going on, and out of like nowhere, it's like, hey, all right, I'm like, oh, Andy's about to say something that I probably missed, and like, look what he hit me.
I don't know though, Art. You say this is.
I don't know.
You say this is the worst.
You might have missed it.
You say this is the worst, but. I think you could. I think there's a little barbs throughout the whole thing. He just throws at you that you surprised. That I'm gonna edit them all together. And I remember the first. It was like one of the first episodes. It was something you said, and I was like, "Oh, is that how you pronounce it?" And Andy said, "That's how Art pronounces it."
Okay, see, I don't see with something like that. I don't look at that as shade. 'Cause like, you know, to me, it's always going to be like the whole tomato kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this right here was just like, you know, it was wow.
It was like record that I 100% approve this message from you.
Oh boy!
Well, we're gonna have to have a wrestling match. Like that's gonna be one of our live events. It's gonna be you guys wrestling each other.
No, only if we get the sumo diapers.
No, you gotta get one of those big inflatable things. You know they have the inflatable sumos.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
You guys.
I would pay. That's a Patreon. That's a Patreon thing.
Yeah.
You gotta pay to see that.
Commentary. Joe, you can ref it.
Yes.
And then we got the event.
But see, I don't. You couldn't do the commentary because you're not biased enough.
That's all the more reason for me to do the commentary.
You know.
All the more reason for me to do it for the audience.
All of my fans would feel like, you know, you're not doing me any justice.
To this guy. All of my fans.
The millions.
I tell you,
The millions.
He has fans.
And millions. Of Artstar fans.
No, and this is the problem we have in this company.
Yes. If you smell what Artstar is cooking.
Joe, you egg
it is.
on.
I love it. I'm probably his biggest fan. I want an Artstar t-shirt.
Well, you can tell your fans to get at me, Artstar. I'm pretty stealthy. It takes a lot.
Getting back to the show a little bit, I'm just kind of curious. Just if this, like a general question, if Captain America was a real thing, or and like, what would it take? Just given the centuries of abuse and mistreatment and racism and stuff, what would it take for that title to mean something to the black community, do you think? Would Sam Wilson being Captain America, a guy like that, being in that title, would that be enough to start overcoming skepticism about it? Or would it just...
It'd be like if it'd be just like when Obama became president.
Say that.
And like, oh, you know, black man is Captain America.
Racism's over.
Okay.
I think it'll be hope. There'll be black children and black young adults who go, I can do anything. But there will be this undercurrent of false. We've moved to a post-racism nation. So, I think it can be good for a lot of people because while there was a lot of hate at Obama himself shined still. He carries himself still with grace and dignity. And listen, they have come at Barack so many times. I wouldn't even be. I would have said some verbally not nice things by now. Somebody would have caught it on tape if I was him and they were talking about me to this degree, or my wife, or my children. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But he, as a human, regardless of people coming at him, has always maintained a sense of dignity and grace. And I think if Sam Wilson carried that through, then there is a generation of people who see that as a symbol of we have something to hope for and move towards. But I don't think it will erase, the underlying issues in America because we's America.
All right.
And then you also have like the older generation who already be like, well, technically we did have a black Captain America already.
Yeah, that too.
We
still need his story. We still need Elijah Bradley's story to be told before this show is done.
Right.
He's the one I want to be Captain America. Like, why not just give him the shield?
Well, he's trying to retire. Remember, he didn't even want people in his house bothering him.
Yeah, he's 100 years old.
He wants the shield.
Who cares? He's got the serum.
He doesn't. He cares. He is not somebody who wants to pick up. That's like when you asked a couple weeks ago if the Wakandans wanted to be part of the Avengers, and I told you no. It's the same thing. Black people don't want to come to the table all the time. Y'all table be wonky. They don't want to join the thing. Isaiah's at home and it's probably like, damn all y'all, just let me relax in peace.
So how about
came to him with a sweet offer? He don't want it. He don't want what you got to give.
How about this? We give the shield. We give the shield to Isaiah, and then he kills all white men in power.
No, that's not the
all
solution
rich
either.
But it'd be satisfying, wouldn't it?
That is
not necessarily.
And plus DMX. No, he doesn't kill DMX, but we give DMX the shield. DMX comes back from the dead. Give him the shield. So I've been watching a lot of DMX videos lately.
That makes me think, though.
But DMX is not a violent man. You have to remember, while he has a rough exterior, DMX has a heart of gold
true.
And a very heavily religious viewpoint on life.
Rest in peace, DMX.
I know,
that's
my first ever rap husband. I got a few
really?
rap husbands. We're not really married. We're just married in my head. But DMX was my first rap husband years ago in my early years.
X gonna give it to you. I love his rough voice.
Right now it's Clifford, aka T.I. and Method Man and Common.
I touched Method Man one time. Method Man slapped me.
You probably deserved it.
I did.
Deserved it.
Well, I was just like, he was at a small dive bar performing. And that was his thing. He decided to say screw Ticketmaster, and he was doing his own tours in these small little bars. And he played Howard's Club H in Bowling Green. So I went to it anyway, and I grabbed his leg while he was not standing on the bar rapping, and he was like, smacked me hard, man. He's like, "Don't touch me."
Grab his leg, Joe?
Well, because everybody was trying to slap hands with him, and he wasn't slapping our hands. So I just
So you figured you grab his leg?
I just wanted to touch him because I was that close. I was like,
"What is he like, Jesus to you?"
Yeah, he is. He's Method Man.
Touch the hem of his garment.
I just wanted to say I touched Method Man, so I just touched him real quick, and then he slapped me. Anyway, Andy, that's not going to be my only name drop. So, Andy, you were about to say something before I jump into my big name drop. Because I am now 1 degree away from the MCU because of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Because you touched Method Man?
No, not that. It's a different thing that I was going to tell you about. I just found out.
No, I was just going to, I was like going back to what I was saying earlier. Like you said, Isaiah Bradley gets a shield and starts murdering people. And I'm like, no.
No, white people.
Imagine
it's not the answer either.
It seems like more like the job of the Punisher, and imagine casting the Punisher as a person of color. that changes that game a lot, because Punisher is basically kind of a fascist, because like he just murders people.
Good. He murders good and bad people.
No, he murdered.
I don't know.
He's supposed to murder bad people, but the definition of bad person has evolved since his inception.
It's subjective.
And
is he Marvel?
Yeah.
He's a Marvel guy.
He hasn't been introduced in the MCU at all yet, and I'm wondering if they need to figure out how to do that.
He's supposed to John Bernthal.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's been in the Netflix shows. He's got his own Netflix show.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be. They're supposed to be using him in whatever plans they had for like the Punisher.
Okay.
Him, Charlie Cox.
Does that guy
like for Daredevil?
I need to watch that series just to see how they handled that. What they did with I watched
Punisher?
the first episode. I never watched the rest of it.
I think Punisher was one of the good ones. Punisher, like the first season of Daredevil.
Was Punisher on Netflix?
Yeah, still is.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
And is that guy just he's got a big machine gun, right? And he shoots everybody?
He's not necessarily
Does he have
just
any
a
powers?
machine gun. No, he's just like a hard ass soldier who he was a Marine, and like depending on which story you read, he was either broken before or after his family got caught in the crossfire of a mob war and killed in front of him in like a public park.
Him and Daredevil has a pretty fucking epic fight in that series.
Daredevil season 2, Punisher is the first appearance of him, and he's always been like in the circle of the other Marvel New York vigilantes, like like Spider-Man and Daredevil have strict no kill policies, and Punisher is all kill policy. And there's something visceral about the Punisher that's appealing when the stories are he goes after the worst of the worst, like human traffickers and skeevy creeps.
I
believe there's a Punisher kills the Marvel Universe series too, isn't there?
That's kind of it.
Is he like the crazy right wing following? Like, does he have
No, they've done a story recently because like a sort of, I mean, not very strongly, I guess, but addressing the fact that cops have adopted the Punisher symbol as like.
I see a lot of Punisher stickers on these big trucks with like assault rifle stickers and things that make me nervous.
Yeah, and that's a scary thing about the whole Punisher concept is that so many cops have embraced that. I mean, that was a thing when he had his own books, was that like cops secretly kind of liked him, and it was like because he was cleaning up the streets or whatever. But there was an issue I think within the last year where Frank Castle was like, some cop came up was like, yeah, we're a big fan. I have the skull, your Punisher skull on my car. And he was like, no, take that off. Nobody does what I do. That is not your job. You have a different job that I can't do, and that's protect and serve. Something like that. I don't know the exact details, but it was like, only this is my mission. My mission alone.
The actor did that?
No.
That was in the comic?
The character in the comics.
The character.
So they sort of tried to address that, but I read what he had
Probably
said.
Fell
I
on
can't remember
deaf
what it was,
ears.
but I just remember it not being particularly satisfying, I guess. But his whole thing is I'm going to punish people who get away from the law, and I'm just going to kill them. I'm not going to mess with them. And then other superheroes are like, no, Frank, let justice be.
Yeah.
The justice system do its thing, and Frank's like, the justice system doesn't do its thing. It's corrupt as hell.
Which is right.
The fact that he's just murdering people outright makes him kind of fascist.
Well, and Artstar already said murder's bad.
Yes. Murder is bad, and the Punisher is bad.
Right.
But
so I'm going to name drop now. Andy, you might know this guy too.
Lord.
I found out on Facebook, a friend of mine on Facebook did the voice of what's the commercial that says restore, whatever, replace, restore, and rebuild.
The Global Security Council that they're...
Yeah. So I think it was not this recent episode, but the one maybe before that. Like it was a commercial for... they did the commercial for
they played the commercial.
So, my friend Kif Vanden Heuvel
Good name.
I was in Death of a Salesman with him. He was Biff. Like, he and I were both up for Biff, and he got the part, of course, and I ended up just being a waiter. But I was still in that show, and he was married to a grad student at the time, so he's a little bit older than me, but he's a voiceover artist in L.A., and he has a voiceover podcast called All Over VO with Kip Vanden Heuvel, and he was in the Richie Rich live action show on Netflix. Anyway, he apparently did the voice on that, like the narrator's voice, I guess, on that commercial.
Nice.
So I am now one step away from the MCU.
Too
If
bad
I
you
wasn't-
don't have a grasp on the MCU, or that would be kind of cool,
Whatever the MCU is.
right? You still have a quiz coming soon. If only Andy, Art, or I had such. I'm just trying to get into their studios. But listen, Marvel, call me. I just want to do a tour.
Well, what I can do, TBJ, is like I'll talk to Kiff, and I'll be like, hey, TBJ needs to be part of the MCU.
I just want to tour.
Yeah.
I can walk
Anyway,
through the background of a street somewhere. It doesn't matter. I just, I just want to see the action. Although I do have a few MCU outfits planned soon.
Just to clarify my whole thing with the Punisher is just imagine how differently the cops would react to the Punisher if it was a POC, as opposed to a big Italian white dude.
Right.
That's
people in general.
how that story becomes fascinating, I think.
Is there talk of doing that, or is that just
not
something
that I'm
you came
aware
up
of? It's just an idea. I was just thinking.
He was just thinking about it because you brought up Isaiah Bradley taking on the show.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then we said Isaiah wouldn't take on the show. He said, "Imagine if." That's how we
maybe
show. There's an actual way.
Maybe that's what we
TBJ,
need now.
for following.
I got you always, Andy.
I
I got you.
Maybe that's what we need after seeing that video of in Virginia what just happened. Like,
listen,
we need a black Punisher.
No, because the way the system works, the world is not ready for it. Just remember what happened when we had a black president. So we ain't ready. They aren't ready for it to be global. But bringing it back to the show, we still have 2 episodes left to see what happens.
Yeah.
What is going to happen in those 2 episodes?
If Sam picks up the shield.
Yeah, I feel like if Sam and Bucky don't immediately try to take that shield from John Walker,
they're going to have to.
After seeing that, and it's in public, I don't know if that mantle. I mean, I'm sure they can write a way around it, but
there's got to be something that's done.
That's the question I had that earlier I had, and I never spit it out. And I think I know the answer. I just want to clarify. In the comics, John Walker never was this bad, right? He never was a villain.
He killed a lot of people.
He became, he took the serum
Oh, he was a villain?
No, he was trying to be Captain America, but he was over the, like, he was more hardline, and I think like it might have been the Power Broker or the Watchdogs or something like that threatened his family, and he went apeshit and murdered a shit ton of them. And that's when I think he realized he shouldn't be Captain America. He comes to the conclusion, I shouldn't be Captain America because I can't live up to this ideal, but I can still do what I do. And that's how he became U.S. agent, which is basically a Captain America in a black outfit.
U.S. agent, but he wasn't ever a villain, like a super villain.
Well, right now he's not necessarily a villain. He's just a Captain America who lost his shit, like Andy said. So it's not that far.
He's certainly an antagonist. He's often an antagonist because he's usually played as an asshole. The kind of guy that shows up and makes things complicated for everybody because he's being a dick about
asshole.
But like his heart is supposed to be in the right place, but his brain is not.
Don't you think they cast it perfectly though? Like this guy, Kurt Russell's son, is such a talk about punchable face. I was just gonna say I don't even want to punch Bucky at all anymore. I just want to punch this guy.
Well, it's because you were. We established that you were unfairly hating on Bucky based on old things, not even related to actually watching the movies.
Well, and these last couple episodes, I don't know. He's grown on me, and I've taken a different. Oh, and how about these ladies taking his arm off?
I was about to say that. How cool was that?
That was so cool. That was so cool.
It was like the what's that one kung fu movie where it does like the move like this with like debilitation?
Oh my god!
Volume 2.
It's like he is the most badass guy in the whole world, and these ladies just were like, "Fuck you."
They know how to
They about to take.
And
they built it.
It's a big reminder of how much Wakanda is responsible for all this shit.
Also
Not
the
only
fact that
is Bucky's arm, it's the shield. At one point, she kicks up the shield, and she's holding the shield, and that's vibranium. That's Wakanda. That shield exists because of Wakanda.
Like I was surprised they didn't try to they didn't actually want to take the arm as well.
Yeah.
Also, can we just say
they should have?
How cool! Like when they was calling him White Wolf, I was like, that was kind of cool, just to have them call him White Wolf.
Yeah, we talked about that last episode. Yeah,
its name is less of a mouthful than the Winter Soldier too.
Right.
Well, I love that he was like, "How did they do that?" And he was like, "I have no idea."
But I think it shows. I don't think they were going to take it from him because they're still an alliance. There's still a relationship between Bucky and them. The only reason they fought him is because he jumped in. If him and Sam would have just sat on the side, they would have been fine. It's just they jumped in. And they didn't even jump in the fight. They just paused and were like, hey, let's not.
Let's not kill him.
Like,
that was it. Like the spear was going in.
They were so badass.
I also like the first few minutes of this episode where we got to see the little backstory of how Ayo? No, they called it Ayo, right? Yeah. Didn't they say, how she helped him overcome, the brainwashing. Like, that was awesome to me too. Like, just seeing that little bit of history that, wonder how he got over it kind of thing. Just like you see it was pretty awesome.
That's what helps this episode and the last episode. Like, that's what helps him gain leverage when they're out to get Zemo. Their relationship is enough for him to gain leverage to give him some time. And that is also why they don't actually try and kill him. She just disarms him so he can calm the hell down.
Literally disarms him.
Literally disarms him so that their battle is not with him in any way, shape, or form, and there's history there. So I think from beginning to end of this episode, we have been able to establish some of Bucky's relationships and ties to people. Everybody's relationships. We go into Carly's relationship a little more with Mama Danya. We go into, Sam has a moment where his sister breakthrough with what Carly asks him something, and she goes, my sister keeps asking the same question. I haven't been able to answer it yet. Like, this episode goes into some dynamics of family and the whys, people's whys. Why are you doing what you're doing? So I think this episode did a beautiful job of showing us some whys and then showing us what happens when you don't have a clear why.
I'm trying to remember. There was some line at some point in the MCU where they talk about what happens if anyone were to actually touch the Dora Milaje, and it's like they would be dead where they stand or something like that. I can't remember where the line is, but that's what John Walker touched the Dora Milaje, and they were going to kill him.
They don't even play. Listen, they don't play games. They don't play games. And I love them for it. Listen, I love them for it. I
like the idea that John Walker's like, they don't have jurisdiction here. Why do you think you have jurisdiction in Latvia?
Right. That's called.
And I like that he's never out of the suit. He wants so badly to be Captain America that he doesn't have he barely has street clothes. He's wandering around the streets of Latvia in this outfit, trying to.
Yeah, because he's like, look at me, because you realize Sam doesn't wear Falcon unless he's going in to fight or going into needing to be safe. He's just in
John Walker is the douche of douche cockery.
Did you say douche cockery? Because I like that word.
Douche cockery.
He's proven his doucheness.
Douche cockery.
Yeah.
I don't think we should give you guys any more words.
Yeah, that's a new word. Let's trademark it.
How do you spell it, Art?
No, do not spell this on recording. That brings us to the end of our Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 4 discussion.
Yes.
I just will wind up by saying I'm not sure how I could see
guys
Sam
have any
seeing
wild-
that happen and not even wanting. Like, he's hesitant about it already. Watching that happen. I mean, on one hand, it's take that shield away from him. On the other hand, he would want that even less to be a part of that. To try
But Bucky would want to take it away from him because Bucky this whole time is like he shouldn't have it in the first damn place. So it's possible that Bucky springs into action.
Yeah, and
You guys have any?
I can see that. I can see
that
that.
might
You
be
guys have
like
any
one episode
wild-
where Bucky has the shield and he basically acts like Captain America to just to sort of pay homage to the comics, to his time as Captain America. And then by the end of this, Sam says, "All right, look, I'm going to do this, but if they take it away from John Walker, the government-chosen operative, Sam is not government-approved Captain America, and maybe that's what would give him enough cred to bring some honor and integrity back to the whole mantle."
Yeah.
Okay.
We shall see. These are our predictions.
These are predictions.
We'll be
That's
back
what I was
next
going to ask.
week
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see. I think those are. I think we've been predicting this whole episode. We've been throwing out
I
predictions.
think they have to immediately jump in and take that shield from him because it's been used in a murder,
Yeah.
and that's wrong.
I have no predictions on the end. I stick by my last prediction on the last episode is that the power broker is someone we already know.
And there's not that many people. Like,
Okay.
it's Sharon Carter, it's Zemo, it's
Well, they're teasing that there is an MCU cameo in this, and they're not. And like, again, early on, I said Marvel likes to fuck us. I'm not sure that they're gonna fuck us twice without asking for permission. So this time, there is going to be a cameo. I don't know how big of a cameo, and I kind of want to feel like Sharon has something might be the power broker, but then also I feel like there may be someone else who I think she probably knows who the power broker is.
Oh,
Dr.
without doubt,
Doom.
it's not her. She knows.
by the way,
Yeah, maybe you never know. You never know.
there
But I
is no
doubt it.
more Soul Stone, so the Red Skull no longer is bound to be on that other planet, Vormir from Endgame. So the Red Skull is free to show up anywhere now. Why
Right.
would he come back to Earth after his metaphysical awakening or whatever? I don't know, but there's always the chance the Red Skull comes back. Or
So
not.
we got enough, I think.
That's something to throw
What
in.
about? Wait a minute. What about She-Hulk? Isn't there going to be a She-Hulk
That's a
show?
whole
Don't they have to
separate
introduce
series.
her?
Yes, that's a different series. We're trying to wrap up Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 4.
What I'm saying is, don't they have to don't they have to introduce her to get that series to
We still
start?
have a couple of shows before we get to her.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right, because we still gonna have Loki. We're gonna
Loki's
have to wait
next.
on that
Yeah.
one.
Oh, Loki's next. So maybe Loki's the power broker.
Probably not.
Oh, ho, ho.
But maybe.
Ooh.
No.
Oh,
I
no.
mean, it could be, but Loki, again, he doesn't have time for humans like that. So
Maybe the Gray Hulk shows up. Oh, aha.
Okay, Joe, you're not allowed to make predictions. You can't even pass me. Sam.
Maybe Colossus. Maybe
Joe's not allowed to
Colossus
make
shows up.
predictions. Dear audience,
Ah.
please
All right,
don't let
we're,
Joe
we're done with the name dropping.
anything.
You can stop dropping
Ah.
names of random Marvel
Joe's
characters.
just throwing out.
Ah,
Joe's
yeah,
throwing out
Howard the
characters.
Duck. Howard the Duck is the power broker.
No,
Always
sir.
possible.
Stop it.
Ooh, the collection.
Stop it.
Could be
Oh,
or Jeff
the
Goldblum.
Puppet Master.
Jeff Goldblum.
Grandmaster. Could be
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum.
No.
Puppet Master.
He hasn't been introduced yet. He's a fantastic.
Or that lady
villain.
who says probability control
Joe.
from HeroClix.
This
Okay.
is how we get. This is how our episodes last longer than the actual TV episode. Because
It's time to. And TBJ's right.
He's
or
just
is
now
that-
naming every hero he can remember. I can almost guarantee you when we quiz him. So for those of you who are listening, we're about to wrap up phase 1 and Joe will have a quiz. I'm willing to lay down, if we're talking about predictions, Joe's not passing this quiz. But right now he's throwing out
Hawkman.
every superhero he can remember.
Yeah.
Which aren't the ones we've gone over yet in the actual movies.
Right.
Hawkman.
Hawkman is DC.
Yeah. All right. TG Bay, take us out.
TG Bay.
Did we have another host? Is there now a fifth host?
TG Bay. She's everybody's Bay. She's TG Bay.
Yeah, no, let's not start that conversation. She is no one's bae. But thank you all for joining Nerd School for Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 4. We'll see you next week where we figure out if any of us
Enjoy
were
your
right.
queso.
Nerds rule.
Excelsior.
Excelsior! Oh, my glasses are broken.
My pocket is protected.
Okay.
They say I can't rap about the president no more, but evidently they don't see we in the streets still poor. Still more incarceration of my kinsmen by the prisons, and people thinking this election to end racism. Proud over pessimism, glad to see Obama, but don't expect me not to speak out when I still see problems.
The Nerd School Podcast.
Nerd School is a member of the Queen City Podcast Network, powered by Ortho Carolina. Now offering video visits so you can take control of your orthopedic care from the comfort of your home. Schedule online at orthocarolina.com. Ortho Carolina, you improved.
John Walker is the douche of douche cockery. Can we just say it?